Screech! I'm having a blank moment. Graveler's 23, right? Does he evolve at 23 or 25? Machoke's 25. Haunter's 25. Is Graveler 21? What's Graveler? Oh god. Shit. You think there'll ever be a Pokemon in modern games that has an ability that's like just immune to physical attacks? Immune to special attacks? Like Psychic Barrier or something crazy? It's like this Pokemon cannot be harmed by special attacks or something. Do you think that'll ever be a thing? Oh, I did it again. Oh no. Come on, Hoo-Hoo, get me. You got this, dog. What do I need? 46? Oh, I'm dead. It's interesting to think that this would be slightly faster if I fought Bellsprout Hoot, but if I ever screwed up, I could not save it. Because since it's Hoot, I can just spam my ghost type moves until he kills me. But yeah, if it was Bellsprout at the end, I would have to pull off the double curse. Or else I would not be able to get myself killed. I would have lost a bunch of time. Multiple times already. I genuinely can't remember. I want to say it's 21. Sarah B. Graveler. Excuse me, so sorry. Was it 25? So he'll likely be the same. He'll be 38, right? Hey! Stop! Died! God damn it. you guys gang up on JoJo? Leave her alone. You guys are lucky she doesn't turn on you two. She beats your asses. Excuse me. Which is also funny because she's the only one that tolerates you two. You guys have the weirdest fucking cat dynamic. They both only had each other at the start because June was the eldest, and from a different litter, obviously. And then they both fought for her love, and then she, like, only really took to the other Torty, JoJo. And, like, as time has gone on, since Jiraiya and I are, like, the two closest now, because he sleeps next to me, June's been fighting for, like, my affection again, which involves being closer to him. So she's, like, left her behind, but now I'm, like, fighting for JoJo's affection, because she's the only one that doesn't sleep with me at night. So, like, I think they hate her now. But she very clearly knows that I love her, because every time I walk up to her, she hits me with slow blinks. And she's been getting more sugar and talkative than ever, but... No, they'll, like, chase her and, like, attack her, and it's like, yo, she'd whoop your asses if she just felt like it. It's like, we're all lucky that she's friendly. June, if you complain that she's in the window now, sitting on your pillow, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind, because you're the one that chased her up into the window. I've raised monsters. She's staring her down in the window. I swear to God, if you get up in that window and you attack your sister, I'm gonna lose it. You chased her up there. She's allowed to sit on your pillow. God, you're a fucking monster. A creature of the night. You know what I should have done? Oh, shit. Should have stayed focused. Give me a moment. I should have made the Bellsprout on the Pokedex shiny too. Sorry, I'm thinking about it. It wouldn't be too hard. I just have to swap it out. That might be fun. Well, baby. Oh. You two better get along. Don't attack her. Sorry, I'm staring at silhouettes behind a blanket. Both on the pillow. Excuse me. Okay. I think June has the pillow and JoJo's leaned up against the pillow. I think that'll... God, she's... What have I created, bro? It wouldn't evolve at 37, would it? That's crazy. That's crazy, right? Oh! 37! Well, I'm glad I came out here. It's just a creepy smile. I love that. He's on the top right. So we have room for one more. I think we're just gonna shiny hunt, or 'cause at this point the only ones left are Pokemon I can do in a single sitting. Hoot Hoot, Hoppip, not Pidgey. Goddamn. Literally just popped up in front of my face. Ladybug, Spinarak, Weedle, Caterpie. Those are all Pokemon I can do in a single sitting. Bellsprout even, another 25. Now it does take a bit. It takes like an hour. But like that's not bad. To finish an entire Pokemon? Yeah, no, it's once you go above 30 that it's brutal. Because, like, again, like, Bayleaf, we're done. Like, if Bayleaf evolved at 25, we're done. But, no, we have to keep going, and that's the rough part. Makes you wish you had, like, a curse. Well, curse wouldn't matter, because it's only good for ghost types. Not bad, though. Not bad. We're making slow progress through these guys, but we're chipping people off. Gengar's done. Golem's done. Crobat's done. Feraligator's done. If we focused it, Teddiursa would be done. Phanpy will probably be done next. Pidgeotto's already 30, which is ridiculous. Now, again, we did use all of our trainers for that. Well, most of all of our trainers. Excuse me. Excuse me. I also liked that even though I was distracted, probably with, like, I don't even know, a bot, just looking at Twitch, OBS, who knows. Even though I was distracted, I still heard and caught the sparkle of the shiny, even at 800%, so that makes me feel a little bit better about not missing them, because I was kind of worried that it would be so fast that I wouldn't notice, but I totally heard it. It took my brain a second to realize what I had heard, but I totally, like, snapped to it. My brain was just like, yo, wait. We've killed a lot of Pokemon, but what is that? And it was what I thought it was. But yeah, we get... these two done. Because I want to save as many of the bug Pokemon as I can for the end, because it'll be fun to just knock them all out in, like, a session. That'd be a fun 12-hour session. To wrap up this area and then go into the next one and catch a bunch of stuff, and then, like, that's old. Going into a new area during a Professor Oak challenge is, like, exhilarating. It's such a weird thing, because it's like, dude, you're going to Badge 2. And it's like, not yet! Not yet! We got Pokemon to catch. It's like, it's so goofy, but... first thing I'm going to do is catch Quillfish, because in one of my Professor Oak challenges, it might even have been the one I'm working on now, which would invalidate the run, I forgot to get Quillfish. Now, in my defense, I restarted like 4 times trying to get that stupid Ghastly, and eventually it just got to the point where, like, it got to the point where I was switch training Gym 2 in Sprout Tower instead of against, like, even the Headbutt trees. I would train, like, to get Slowbro against Ghastlies, and I would, like, start switch training everything I could just to get as many encounters in Sprout Tower as I could. And then if I'd get to Bugsy, I'd just reset the whole save file. Dude, it was like a desperate time. I was, like, determined to get that Ghastly. It's crazy how pettily angry I ended up getting it, like John Stone. Because he was like, you can get a Ghastly, a shiny Ghastly. And it's like, no, you can't. Like, you can. After 8 months. Although I will say that sparked my love for shiny hunting. And then it was immediately killed by Celebi. I enjoyed every shiny hunt I did up until Celebi. Although I will say I did egg breeding back in, like, 2016 and 17. Although X and Y egg breeding might have been some of the easiest stuff ever. Of like, okay, I got my Everstone, I got my Destiny Knot, I went on the GTS and I got my Foreign Ditto. Alright, let's breed some eggs. Okay, now to Luminoid City. Where's my paperclip? Where's my paperclip? Oh, there's my paperclip. Alright, let's hatch some eggs. I mean, but it was fun. It was still good. I remember going, we used to have like little like Pokemon parties, like where everybody would just have their DSs and we'd all play and like hang out and trade and do stuff. Usually it would end up with somebody being like, dude, somebody take all my Pokemon, I'm restarting. And it's like, oh, okay, dude. And so you'd have to go and catch like 60 shit Pokemon. Or hopefully you had a box of like eggs that you had been breeding that you can just trade to this person so that they can trade you all of their super good Pokemon. And then you have to wait for them to go grind up enough money to buy the Pokeballs to get their Pokemon back. Good times though. But I remember one time, we were all gonna try to breed a shiny, and one of the people there, we were all hanging out, and one of the people there was just like, wait, what does shiny Riolu even look like? And we were like, yellow, yellow, yellow. And he like flipped his 3DS around and we were all like, whoa! And he had gotten it in the process of getting the natures. We were all gonna try to get our natures and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure he got modest or timid. Because I remember him being like, I know he wanted adamant. But everybody was like super excited because they were like, no, 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 you're still good, you're good, you're good. And it was just like, wow, dude, you're already done. Like, it's like we're all just getting like this. We were all just getting started. We were all gonna like do our natures, and then like you got to get your IVs, and damn dog, good nature, shiny, and yeah, Mega Lucario obviously was the goal, but it was like damn. Dude, I bred a shiny Carvana so I could have shiny Sharpedo because it was like when like day one of OROS, nobody knew if you could like ride on shiny Sharpedo or not. And dude, it was crushing. But I remember like trading over my Pokemon from X and Y and like getting my setup, getting to Maulville, and like realizing Maulville wasn't a perfect circle, so you couldn't do the paperclip trick, but you could still like, or could you? Could you do it in Maulville? I can't actually remember. I have a video online. I'll have to look it up. Dude, I used to hatch eggs during, like, lectures. I was a terrible student looking back at it, but... all that really tells me is I should have been streaming when I was in college, but my mom literally, like, she didn't force me at gunpoint, but that was the family dynamic I had back then. My mom was like, your brother went to school, so why can't you? And I'd managed to put it off for a year. Because it was like, well, I'm working, I'm making money. And it's like, I've got friends who are thinking about college now, I guess. That, like, because all of my, like, when I graduated, all my friends were going to, like, big schools that were going to be, like, $40,000, $50,000 a year. And it was like, I'm not paying that for school. Like, I don't want to go. It's like the only reason I'm even looking is because my mom is like, your brother went, why can't you? We're all going to be college graduates. And it's like, what is this going to do for me? So after a year of working, one of my friends was like, hey dude, I'm moving and there's like a really cool wildlife school near us. And it was like, well, I might, if she's going to fucking rage at me, because I think if I didn't go, I was going to get kicked out of the house. So it was like, I don't have enough money. But again, it's really weird to even think about. A decade ago, if you graduated high school and didn't go to college, you were seen as already, like, not aspiring. Like, really, bro? You don't have any goals or dreams? And it's like, okay, like, get the fuck away from me. It was just, it is weird. It's so weird to see, like, the difference in culture over the last 10 years. Getting older is weird, man. I don't know if every generation experiences it like we have. But like seriously, the you must go to college to college is literally a scam shift is like crazy. It makes me look back at all those movies where I saw like going to college was the theme and think like, is this propaganda or like are those actually like just, you know, fun movies of the time? But it's weird. It's so weird. But yeah, I look back at it and I realized it was like, dude, I just wanted to game. It's like, I really should have just been trying to stream. I have my Xbox 360 and I kind of want to pull it open and see if I can, or pull it out. I don't need to pull it open. I might need to clean it actually. See if I can get it running because I have clips from Black Ops 1 from back when like I first thought like, you know, I could do this and it would be fun to check those out and see how good they still are. Oh, that's so long ago, man. No, if I would change anything, I would totally go back for game design. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people who go for game design who don't know anything. And it's like, I could have been one. I just didn't have the confidence to be one of those people who asks questions because they don't understand. And now I do. Because I've got so many, I've always had great ideas. I just didn't have the confidence to execute them because I still don't understand game design, in the sense of like actually making a game. But now I have great understand of game design, in the sense that like, okay, you need to have not a like. It's so interesting to look at like older games and difficulty spikes and stuff like that versus now, where like. It's just people bitch about it. Like, you can't actually make a difficulty spike now. Because people are like, yo, what is this? Like, I was doing fine. And then it's like, well, you need to change your build. And people are like, Rah! And it's like, oh, God. But on the flip side, some games back in the day were so bad about it, where it's just like, you're having fun, you're having fun, you're having fun. Why am I getting one shot? And it's like, oh, yeah, the game kind of expected you to grind in that last area because like it's a big desert and you're supposed to get lost, but you didn't get lost. And it's like, oh my god, how much was I supposed to grind? It's like, probably 10 levels. It's like, what? Yeah. It's... Yeah, so you're going to want to cheese the next boss if you don't want to grind. And it's just like, oh my god. But that's just, yeah, that's just, you know, how things go. But nowadays, we have the, like, because what was it, Final Fantasy 3 that really, like, coined this, where it's like, hey, if you don't want to grind, here's some gear for this next, like, the next boss is going to be weak to these weapons, so wear this armor and use these weapons, and you can do super effective damage against the next boss, and it'll be much, much easier. And then, like, the hand-holding of modern games where it's, like, the games are so easy, they're almost like cutscenes. There's, like, we can find a blend. I will say, Expedition 33 tried to do it, but the balance in that game is like, again, it's RPG Maker bad. It's just prettier. Like, the game is... I've never played it myself. But every single person I've ever talked to about the game has, has immediately gone, oh yeah, no. If you understand basic math, you can become overpowered. And it's like, oh... It's like there's no strategy to like, oh, if I do like vampiric plus the sword that drains my health, I get my health back and I get the boosted. Oh, that's cool. It's literally just like, okay, if I wear this armor with it, it's like, no. It's like I at least want to fucking, like, think of combos and stuff. But I will say, Genshin Impact is that way. Big number make big number bigger. And that's literally all it is. I think at one point they even updated it just so that, like, you know, like when you have a better artifact, the number's green versus, like, green and red. So it's like you weren't even looking at how big the number is. You're just looking for green. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong, but... And I say that as somebody who likes to grind. It's just, it ruins it when, like, the grind to get overpowered doesn't exist. And it's like, again, you have to, like, challenge run. To, like, what's a good example of this? Dragon Quest VIII. Dragon Quest VIII is a game where I have started to do low-level runs because getting overpowered in that game makes you so overpowered that it's just not fun. Because it's designed to be that way. It's kind of crazy. If you go through, like, old posts about Dragon Quest VIII, you can find people struggling against certain bosses, and then other people who are just like, what do you mean? Like, this game's not hard. And if you get to level 35 with, I think it's Angelo? It's Angelo or Hero. I'm pretty sure it's Angelo. He learns the ability multi-heal, or the spell. There's differences. He learns the spell multi-heal, which just heals everybody on the team. And having the ability to heal everybody on the team makes the game not a joke, but the difference between being able to just heal everybody and not is massive. Because before that, you have to choose who you're healing. Or you use 2 characters to heal 2 people. Or you level up a little bit and 1 character can heal all 4 characters every turn. And suddenly, it's crazy. Suddenly every fight becomes a joke because one guy is just healing everybody. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, this feels dirty. And I was one of those people because dude, I grinded so much the first time I played Dragon Quest because finding metal slimes and, like, not having them run away is, like, in itself addictive. Because you're like, oh, it stayed. And then killing them, and, like, you get, like, a level or 2, you're like, oh, yeah, let's go. Let's go. But, yeah, no, then you start, like, you get your criticals going off, and then, like, multiple people have criticals, and you start getting an accelerate, and then you start getting, like, groups of 3 metal slimes, and you get 2 of them. And it's like, bro. And then all of a sudden you're level 28 in the first area, and you're like, or not the first area, but the first area that you can find slimes. And it's like, yes! Which is actually really early. It's kind of crazy. You can find slimes so early into the game. Ooh. I haven't made my April Fool's post in a couple years, have I? I used to make this April Fool's post for Dragon Quest. It was kind of popular. Where I would fight the trap box without Angelo, and people would always just be like, oh my god! You're so where's Angelo? What's going on? And then, like, 1 or 2 people would be like, wow, this is funny. Like, nobody seems to know what's going on. And it's like, yeah, it's like, did April Fool die? But there'd be a lot of people who are like, this isn't possible. Like, what's going on here? And it's like, well, you don't have to get Angelo. Like, you can just pass him up. And then some people are like, you can't possibly be this low of a level. And it's like, no, you can. I did it. I've done it. I wish I could, there's a lot of playthroughs that I've done in the last few years that I wish I could have done without save states. But I'm gonna be honest, now that I'm literally now that I'm thinking about it, where it's just like, damn, that one specifically, I wish I could have done without save states, because somebody told me it was impossible, and I was like, no, I did it, and I sent them the videos and everything, and they never responded to me, because they were like, no, I'm part of the community, nobody's ever done that, like, I know what's possible in Dragon Quest VIII minimum, and it's just like, either I pissed them off royally, or I did something wrong, and either way, I wish they would have, like, you know, like, hey, dude, you cheated. Because I did cheat and use action replay codes, but I cheated and used action replay codes for DLC items from back in the day. Now, I will say, the one cheat within a cheat that I did, and I'm not too sure about, because again, I'd have to fucking time travel, is I did get multiple of a DLC item. But I don't know. I don't know if you could get multiples of a DLC, like if you could get multiple codes, or if they were all the same code, so you could only input one code. So it was like one code per DS. But what that basically boiled down to was I would need, because the item was really good, but I could have used other items. The problem is, and some people are going, well, that's just cheating. And yes, however, the reason I did it was because a lot of the time, because I was using save states to farm RNG to make some of these boss fights even possible. I think a lot of the time, the items that I was using simply made it so that I didn't have to use as many save states. Excuse me. Where's my phone at? Because a lot of the time, I would just have to survive like 2 or 3 turns of a boss hitting me. And then I'd be able to carry on. And like, that was that. Like, it wasn't like super concerning. Now, there were a couple times where it's like, okay, there's an AoE attack I have to survive. And this, like, the one item, I think it reduced all damage by 25%, which is just massive. And there were a couple times where it's like, there's an AoE attack I have to survive. But there were other items through DLC means that I could have used. Like, there was one that reduced, I think, like, all fire attacks to 0. And I genuinely just didn't like using it because I was lazy. Because in order to, like, have multiples of each DLC item, I had to, like, jump through hoops. And there were some DLC items that I did actually want multiples of because it just made life easier. For instance, there were these seeds of super strength and stuff. There's a super version of every seed of, like, blank. And it gave you multiple points. I think it was 10 points per seed. And you can farm seeds normally once a day. And I've done this, and I have proof of this. But it takes, like, 6 to 7 months and, like, a couple hours a day. And I didn't feel like streaming myself doing that because I had already done it on a physical copy of the game. Well, actually, it was a virtual copy on a physical 3DS. And I didn't feel like doing it again. So I was duplicating the seeds whenever I needed them. And yeah, it was like, shit. Like, this sucks. I just learned what my current problem is in the game. I have to... I don't even think I can. I was gonna say, I have to remember how to, like, go about it, but I think I have to steal Orichalcum from King Metal Slimes, but Yangus only has the basic steel. So it's half of odds instead of normal odds. So it's a 1 in 256, which normally 1 in 256 doesn't bother me. But instead, that makes it like, what is it? 1 in 512, which is like Not great. Still not the worst, but in order to do that, I have to duplicate Seeds of Agility to make Yangus fast enough to outspeed King Metal Slimes. And then I have to go into an area to farm King Metal Slimes, who are one of the rarest enemies in the game. And I have to farm a 1 in 500 from them. And yeah, that is just... whew, not good. Now, it is possible. The other thing is, I have to go around the entire game and find all the mini medals, because there's a few armor sets that I need to get the maximum amount of mini medals for. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not that into collectathons. I've done Stones of Baron Zaya, oh goddammit, twice. I would like to never collect anything again. Also, and before anybody says it, I think it's useful. Because people are like, what do you do with the gems? It's like I level my smithing. Because by the time that I've gotten around to finishing the Stones and Barazaya normally, because normally I'm like, if I play Skyrim, and I haven't played Skyrim in years now. It's probably been 6 years since I played Skyrim. And I refuse to ever play Skyrim again because I bought Skyrim and then they literally released a new version of Skyrim with like more stuff in it like a day or two later. And it was like, bro, I'm actually sick of this fucking Skyrim meme. Like, it's like I bought like a fucking like a version, like a fucking collector's legendary blah 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 expanded version. And then like 2 weeks later they were like, oh, this is the collector's ultimate expanded legendary edition with blah blah blah. And it's like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm never playing this fucking game again. Because I was trying to do legendary no death runs. And I was actually having a lot of fun. Although I was getting a little cheaty towards the end. Because I died to a Draugr with a shout. And I got really upset. And I was just like, I'm cheating. What I was doing was I was soft resetting I was going to the College of Winterhold, going into the basement, doing the quest for was it a quest or did you have to 100 conjuring? But I was using the fucking, oh god, what's the thing down there? I can't even remember what the fucking table's called where you conjured Daedric armor. And I would just soft reset until I got, like, magic resist Daedric armor and stuff like that with, like, carry load. And then I would start my questing journey. And it's like, yeah, everything's super high leveled because I am too. But it's like, I got my Daedric armor, I got my shield, I got my 2 Dremora. I'm gonna let them take all... the only thing that, like, would kill me is greed. Because, like, I would let my Dremora do all the fighting. Oops. And then, like, I'd be like, oh, look, urns! And then, like, a fucking trap would just bash my face in. And it's like, yep, okay, fucking god. Although, again, one time I spent all this time grinding and, like, didn't do the Daedric armor part. I was just like, yo, fuck, let me just go do the first quest. And I literally, like, the Daedra got out of his fucking tomb and just shouted me and I insta-died. And it was like, oh, that's right. He's super high level. Yeah. Okay. Because, like, I also saw that you could just stay low level and, like, find some really good gear. And then if you just stayed as low of a level as possible, the game was much easier to do. Still hard, but much easier to do. And it was like, you know what? I'm going to do the grinding. Because I just did the Soul Trap thing. I'm not even going to lie. I would just get Soul Trap, get my Conjuring to 100, get my double Daedra, or Dremora? Daedra? And it really wasn't that bad. the most fun part to me was if you excuse me, if you soft or hard reset, whatever, Skyrim repeatedly from character creation, or just the cave, you will see, and if you do this for, you know, enough hours to do a legendary hardcore run, I got pretty far. I never beat it. I got pretty far. I think I made it to, I actually can't remember. I remember getting excited about, if I was a high enough level at a certain point, when I entered the Blades place, the one blade sword that did bonus damage to dragons would be max level, which if I remember correctly does as much as an ebony or a Daedric sword. So I remember being excited about that, so I didn't make it past that. But I made it at least far enough that I was like, okay, I actually need to level up more to make sure that that thing's like, because you have to be like, I actually can't even remember what level it is. You have to be a certain level for it to have max stats. And it was like, okay, I think that's going to be my main weapon. And then I remember at a certain point thinking, like, we'll go get the crossbow from Dawnguard. And it was like, okay, I don't think I'm going to do Dawnguard just for the crossbow, but... I should have just done Stealth Archer like everybody does, but I'm going to be honest with you, never found it fun. Although, I did find it fun because I had a friend who, and we're still, I still to this day, I don't know how it happened, but he hated Skyrim back in, like, the hype days, whenever, like, you had to be playing Skyrim. Like, even people who weren't into gaming knew about Skyrim because it was such a big deal. But he hated it, and we did, like, a gaming night where everybody brought their, like, games over and we're all playing Skyrim. And I remember him showing off his thing, and he was sneaking around the Thieves Guild. And I can't remember exactly what happened, but he shot a guy, and all of us were like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, what do you mean, wait, what? This game sucks. It's so hard. I spend all day going through places, shooting people multiple times in the head, over and over and over. And, like, eventually we realized that he was, like, playing on, like, what was the earliest, highest difficulty? Was it Master? Because Legendary came later. But he had somehow ended up on the highest difficulty, and had played through, like, all the way to the Thieves Guild at least, playing on the highest difficulty as a Stealth Archer. And it was like, damn, bro, like, no wonder you thought this game sucked. It's like, you've probably been doing nothing but farming for arrows and hiding because you die in one shot. It's like, oh my god. Oh yeah, Rage Relief. Okay, we're good. On the flip side, though, I had two friends that were, like, really good at gaming, and they told me Dragon's Dogma was the hardest game they had ever played, and when I played it, I was like, you guys are crazy. This game's easy. And it turns out that I actually don't know how they were dying so much. Because they just stopped playing the game entirely. Because I remember when I picked it up, they just didn't play it anymore because they wouldn't talk to me about it. Oh, dude, that's a weird, like, trio of friends to think about. I lost contact with one of those friends as soon as high school let out, and I think I got in contact with him once for, like, 5 minutes. I almost wonder if he does, like, government work. Because he straight up, like, it was weird. It was a weird conversation. But he also could have seen me as, like, a desperate friend who needed money. But I just hadn't spoken to him in years. And, like, it's like, shit, dude, I'm gonna call his old phone number. And, like, the person answered like it was him, but he hit me with the, yeah, we'll definitely catch up. And we never caught up. But no, our friendship little trio died because this is such a weird thing to think about, but one friend bought the other friend a copy of Minecraft, and to this day I actually don't know how the whole thing went down. All I remember is that it was over, I think, dude, Minecraft was like $15 back in the day, which is crazy to think about, because, like, that really still wasn't that expensive for a game. Although basic Minecraft was basic, dude. I remember playing before the Nether update. I remember having family just look at me one time, and they're like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm digging out a pit. And it was literally just like, it was like a 10 by 10. Like, and I don't know how many people did it. It's probably crazy how high the percentage of people who have played like original Minecraft were just like, I'm just gonna dig a big pit. Just a big 10 by 10 pit. Just because you could like see the layers. It was cool. And there was like no strategy back then. Although I have to say, I never played during alpha, and I'm kind of sad because apparently in alpha, gold would just spawn on the surface, and I never got to experience that. But I played during beta. I wish I still had that account. But that was just so long ago on a family computer that hasn't existed for who knows. Life's funny like that. But one of my truest regrets is not having like password login info throughout my life. I mean, like, not that I actually like could ever. I can't even imagine time traveling and being like, hey, me, write that password down. Okay. Because, dude, I had some sick Neopets at one point. Sick Neopets. And yeah, it was like a week later, I couldn't remember that login info. But life's like that. Also, I'm not going to be able to manage it, but I'm officially going to be done getting fast food. And I'm going to only allow myself to partake in fast casual. Because I've been trying to do better. I've been doing better this year than I did last year. But, like, I've gotten a couple sandwiches this year that were so good that they rivaled sit-down-to-eat food that I've had in the last, like, 5 years. And it was like, damn, dude. It really doesn't matter where you go. It's just who's working. But the other day I went and I got McDonald's, and it was so bad that I couldn't, like... I worked through it, but it was like, yo, this feels like the kind of food that you eat, and then, like, 2 hours later, you're like, oh, I'm gonna be sick. Like, I've got food poisoning. I didn't, but it was like I was eating it, and it was just like, oh yeah, something's off. This food ain't right. It was weird too. Like, my sandwiches were like, it was weird, man. The whole thing, like, when I reached into the bag, it was like, where's my fucking food? And then, like, I put my hand to the bottom of the bag, and it was like, yo, my hamburgers are, like, did somebody, like, do this? Did somebody smash my burgers on purpose? And I, like, pulled them out, and, like, they just weren't right, man. Like, they didn't look smashed. It was like, they were just flat, like, deflated. And it was like, it's like, are these old? Am I about to get, like, old burgers? Like, this don't feel good. I'm not... And, like, when I opened them, the sauce was, like, so thick that I had to smear it on, like, the wrappers. Because it was like, if I eat this, like, it's doing that drip thing, and I'm not getting McDonald's ketchup on my lap. So, like, I'm wiping off all the sauce, and then I'm, like, looking at the burger, and it's just like, bro, these ain't right. But I have trauma about wasting food because when I was a kid, my grandparents would make my plates, and if you didn't finish your food, you were wasting your food. What, you don't like it? You don't like it? And you're sitting there like going into a food coma as a child because you've eaten like a man's amount of food, like a 200-pound man's amount of food. And it's like, okay, yeah, grandma just slaved away in the kitchen making food for everybody, and you're just gonna waste it. Are you gonna at least take it home? And you're just like, I'm 6. So I hate wasting food, and I just hate wasting food because, you know, I went to college for biology, and I've horrifically, dude, I remember we had a day where the teacher was just like, you guys can leave at any time today, and like everybody was just kind of like, free day, and he's like, we're just gonna watch videos today. Today's all about hanging out and watching videos, and everybody's like, oh, sick. Okay, hold on. Yeah, okay. Any of the losers leave? Yeah. Any losers left when he said you have a free day? We're watching videos. And he was like, seriously, if you want to leave, you can today. We're just watching videos. And then, like, pulled up 8 videos in a row of, like, slaughter. And it was just like, oh, bro, I can't fucking... I left after 1. I'll probably never get the visions out of my head. But he was just like, this is happening every minute around the world as we're sitting here in class. And all the meat you see, and it was just like, oh, fuck, dude. And I've never been the same. I had dreams about fucking, like... It was weird, dude. I can see why people believed in, like, how powerful dreams were back in the day. Because I saw something traumatizing and immediately had dreams about it. And, dude, I remember one, I was like a goddamn werewolf. But at the very end of the dream, I, like, came to realization that I was eating, like, a puppy, like a fucking, like, chicken leg. And, dude, I couldn't eat meat for so long. It fucked me up. And then one day, I was just hanging out with a friend, and we were driving, and he was like, dude, canes! And I was just like, you know, that actually sounds really good. And I was sitting there eating it, and all of a sudden I realized, like, I don't think I've had meat in, like, 6, 7 months, 8 months. And he was like, why? And, like, it just came, like, right back to me that it was just like, oh, fuck, I'm eating a fucking living creature. But I can eat meat now. Although I feel horrible guilt whenever I walk by, like, meat areas and I see, like, oh, I could make that. I could cook this. I could do that. I could... Oh, if I put all that in the freezer for the next few weeks, I've got food. And then these animals haven't died for fucking nothing. But then it's just like, dude, that's fucking $90 in meat. I'm sorry, guys. And then I feel guilt as, like, I fucking walk away from these counters and these animals have fucking died. So that they can be on sale next week. And it's just like, bro, this fucks me up. Oh, we called it early on Quilava. Whoops. Let's wrap up Quilava, and then I think I'm gonna play some Sulfur. If I could catch another shiny, it would be perfect. I mean, that's big. It's big. It's wishful thinking. But the first time I ever did a Professor Oak challenge, I caught a shiny Unknown and a shiny Rattata, and I kept them the same level as Falkner's Pokemon, and I set my challenge to be able to beat Falkner with the Unknown and the Rattata. And it was actually quite difficult. He whooped my ass, surprisingly. And that would be a lot of fun, but just using a Bellsprout against Pidgey and Pidgeotto would not be smart. So, if I can get a second Pokemon, there's a chance we could pull it off. Teddy? Yeah, Teddy. God damn it. Teddy! 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 God damn. Oh yeah, I still have to do. Teddy Ursa's still got a lot to do. Shit. I don't know if I'm gonna play Sulfur after this. We might. I'm supposed to. It's Monday. I was supposed to Mega Bonk the other day, but I'm honestly kind of done with Mega Bonk. I had a depressing realization, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. I set my personal best of 310th in the world on a weekly reset. You know, people do it. It's fair. Now I know it's not my true standing. My true standing is about 8,000 or 9,000 in the world, and I'm fine with that. That's top 2.5% roughly, 2.5 to 3%, and I'm happy with that. I hit top 1.5%, 310th in the world. Now, I'm very proud of that. I have proof of that. It was a lot of fun to do that. However, I depressingly came to the realization that the reason it happened was most likely because it was Super Bowl weekend and thousands of other people weren't playing Mega Ball. And it kind of crushed me. Because the weekend before and the weekend after, I also made attempts. And I ranked, like, in the top 2% and, like, I think I got 900 and, like, 1,500. But the week after the Super Bowl specifically, I got, I think, my PB. It was, I got above 400,000. And I turned it in, I think it was 30 minutes after the weekly, like, flip. Which was, like, perfect timing. It was perfect timing. I even checked on Twitch and saw that, like, people with thousands of views who were also in the final rounds getting hundreds of thousands of kills hadn't gotten to the 400,000 mark, and I was going to beat them. And I turned mine in, and I was top 6,000 in the world. And it was like, oh, shit. That's about 5,000 fucking, like, what, 5,400 people that probably were watching the Super Bowl last week and are now like, I ain't missing this week. And it's like, damn, it put me back in the 2 percentile. Like, that's really where I sit. And I'm fine with that. It just really sucks that I thought I made it to that top 1% because it was a PB. I did my best. And then I just, like, I realized it was like, fuck, where would 5,700 people come from? Like, did the hardcore players come out of nowhere? And it was like, oh my god, what was last weekend? And then I realized it was like, oh shit, it was the Super Bowl. That would probably take 5,000 whatever people's attention. It was like, damn. It's like, no, it was like, I thought me getting, you know, 100,000 kills is a lot. And that is the, you know, I said I usually average 8,000 to 9,000, and I got to 6,000. And I jumped from 300k to 400k. So that is an appropriate jump in ranking. But it was just like, damn, dude. It's like, I thought I would be higher than that. But, nope. So it kind of killed it. Because, I mean, I've I've played so much Mega Bonk, and disgustingly, almost all of it is just soft resetting to get good runs. Which is, like, it's addicting how much dopamine there is when you finally get a good run going, and you're on map 2 or map 3 just like, oh, sorry, just cooking. Flying around the map, everything's instant dying, and you're, like, looking for legendaries, and, like, it's just everything's working out. But that grind every week to try and get as high of a placement, and then, like, it's crazy, like, how much RNG goes into getting a run that's, like, just good. I know a couple people who stopped playing Mega Bonk simply because they couldn't break the 10 to 20,000 ratio. Or not ratio, what do you want to call it? Range. And truthfully, that's a really good range. The developer of the game's personal best when he released it was only 10,000. So, like, it's really... It's just weird. It's one of those games where it's just like, you think you're not doing well, and then you realize it was designed to be an endurance test. Like, you will die. It's just a matter of when. But you get those runs where for a moment you feel like God, and it's just like, the dopamine center is just like, I'm giving it all I got, Captain! And the captain's just fucking, like, passed out with hand on the throttle, like, let's go! To the dopamine island! And the boat's just, like, already stuck in the shore of Dopamine Bay. Just, like, full speed. But it is fun. It's a fun game. It's well made. Somebody told me, they were like, what sold it on me was there's a person I used to, like, see a lot around stream. Like, I'd be in streams chatting to them, and they'd be in my streams chatting to me. And they were like, you'd be surprised how much the third dimension adds to Vampire Survivors. And at the time, I was a big Vampire Survivors player. I had just gotten back into it. I played it a decent amount at one point. I can't remember when it was, but I couldn't beat Death. And then I think when I came back, I basically unlocked all the banishes, and it was like, oh wait, this is really easy if you have banish. Because I remember coming back and beating Death immediately. I literally first try. Also, they could have updated the game a bunch, but... and then I was just like, I was on a Vampire Survivors kick. Because they had added so much content that it was just like, wow. Like, there's stories, and there's this, and there's that, and it's like, I'm loving this. Anyways. I watched some Mega Bonk, and I was just like, this is literally just Vampire Survivors, like, but weird looking. Like, why are you guys all obsessed with this but not Vampire? And he just reiterated, he was like, you'd be surprised. And it's like, it's literally just jump. Like, how does that matter? And then I watched, like, just a little bit more of, oh, wait, I'm supposed to stop. Because the recording is gonna get wonky. Cost too many gigs. YouTube, thanks for stopping by, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out. Another grinding episode.